Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro After Dark, and tonight, question nothing, learn nothing. People learn by playing, not by stopping to analyze. As always, you can get this seed from the video description, and when you're ready, let's go Goldsake Zodiac Deck. Zodiac Deck again, by the way, because it's been a long week. I just wanted to treat myself. First boss is Spades. Probably investment tag here is fine. There is some risk going into the big blind, but probably fine. Alright. 3 clubs. In that case, I like the idea going for the straight here. It could be a king high straight, could be an ace high straight. 4 clubs now. Slightly punished for throwing away the 2 of clubs, I guess. We can still go for the flush. Maybe it makes sense to pivot here. Go for the flush. I guess one option is we could still go for the straight. You draw the ace, you draw the 9. The question is, what is the follow-up hand going to be? What I like about doing the flushes in the big blind is you play one flush that eliminates one suit, and then you draw a different flush, basically. And then also sometimes if you play the straight, it disrupts your pairs. You can't pair out. In the big blind, sometimes you play a 300-point hand and you finish with 2 or 3 pairs, sometimes 2 pair. Anyway, clubs, I guess. Sure, why not? How about king high flush? Sure. Sorry if I sound a little tired. I'm still in my jersey. Let's go ace high just to dump and get the straight. What's the straight look like? We've got king or 8. We could go for diamonds as a flush instead. Let's try the straight, I guess. Okay, king high straight. That does work. If we miss on the straight, what happens? We play a pair of face cards is 60. 2 pair is 120. We would be short. Just get lucky, I guess. Anyway, do we take Riffraff as an eternal rental? Probably not. Probably not eternal rental. Maybe if you have investment tag, the eternal rental is less bad. For sure, we look Buffoon Pack first. Could be Arrowhead, could be Steven. I guess long term, Arrowhead is very powerful. Maybe short term, Steven is better. Arrowhead better long term, Steven better short term. I do remember the boss is Spades. So if the boss is Spades, maybe Arrowhead just doesn't do anything, and maybe we need Steven to help us beat the boss. Sure. If we take Steven here, do we make lucky cards? Do we take the Mercury card? I think because we have the money from the investment tag, I think let's get a little spendy. Let's get a little frisky with Magician, probably. Go next. It's like, now what are we trying to do? I can win with 2 pair, maybe. So we could do definitely a pair of 4s, maybe a pair of 10s also. Looking for some cards that are not debuffed. Maybe it makes sense to hold on to the 7s and 4s and play the 2 pair. Do we care about 6s, or are we just focusing 10s? We could do lucky 10s. Sure. How about that? With Steven, any kind of 2 pair is fine. As long as we have 1 even pair. 1 odd pair is fine. Alright. So, slightly punished for making the lucky 10s instead of the lucky 4s. I guess that's fine. We don't have to take the hack here. We might not. Not taking any skips. I think the Chad is reasonable. Chad as an eternal rental. Maybe some considerations. The Chad does help us score more points. It gives us both chips and molt, especially if we play a pair of 10s. Then that gives us 20 more chips. So Chad probably just helps us live. Also, we have the money from the investment tag. We can use that to pay for the rental fee, so maybe the rental is not that bad. Maybe with the lucky cards we can hit the money. So I definitely think we go Arcana pack first. Do I want Uranus? Is that something I'm interested in? I would say that's probably correct with Steven plus Chad. Maybe with Chad, the 2 pair is not as important as just playing a pair of even cards is fine. Could be a death card if we want to make another 10, or we can hang them. So maybe pair of 7s, we can hang them. Yeah, I like that idea. So prioritizing removing cards instead of making more lucky 10s. Try again. So could be a hungman again. I guess we can hang him now, or we can use the fool and hang different cards. So what are we trying to remove? If we've got hack, no, not hack. Maybe hack, probably not hack. Let's say we don't have hack. If we have hack is perishable. If we just have Steven and Chad, then maybe we do 10s. Maybe we turn the 10s into jacks long term. Maybe we I think remove a 7 makes sense. Maybe remove a 6. Maybe we remove an ace. We lose the ability to turn the ace into 2s, I think is probably fine. We could take judgment here. I think Steven is already strong enough. That's the consideration. Steven's already strong enough, so we just remove him. And then go Chad here. Do we need Uranus? Is that something that we need? I'm going to say unnecessary. Alright, I can play a straight. With 110, I could try to get a different lucky card. I think for now, it's just important to play one at a time. Lucky card. Okay. That wins. Maybe that's a reason to not remove aces so that we can play ace high straights with a 10. Maybe. Judgment here is okay. Justice makes sense with the Chad. I guess a concern with Justice is you make a glass card and it breaks. Maybe we start with the Buffoon pack. Buffoon pack could be Ancient Joker plus Chad. I think 2 Eternal Rentals, probably we just can't do it. Probably too expensive. Ancient Joker is strong, and Ancient Joker is better when you have Steven, because the base mult on a flush is not that big, right? But if you have Steven first, then that doubles your mult, so Steven here is the same as, what is it? The Tribe, times 2. Steven is a times 2 if we take Ancient Joker, actually slightly more than a times 2. Nah, we just take the money. I think it's fine. I think we demonstrated our strength already. I don't need Rental Acrobat. We can take Judgment here. Or Ramen. Maybe I'm supposed to take Judgment before opening the pack, because Judgment you have no control over. The pack you do have a control over, so maybe whatever Joker you get, and then you choose the Joker from the pack based on what Joker you get. Justice here probably works, but also strikes me as slightly expensive, acknowledging that we have the Rental Chad. But I think I still want the standard pack anyway. Maybe no Justice. Maybe Justice is not necessary yet, but that's definitely something that we could do with the Chad. Could be a Steel 10, I think makes sense. Also Lucky 8. I think I just take more lucky cards. I think with the Chad we take more lucky cards, and then slightly punish for making lucky 10s. But we can build into 8s. Yeah, we can build into 8s. Yeah. Alright, so here I can play the 10 for a chance at money. I could just play the full house, which wins because we got Ramen. I think I at least play the 10. On average, it's $1, and even if we don't get the money, we will eventually get the money. Sooner rather than later. Let's go ahead and play this full house, saving our discards. We could discard to try to find the lucky cards, but I think it's maybe not worth losing the Ramen, not worth risking the Ramen. We do pay the price on the rental fee, but maybe Golden Joker makes up for it. Golden Joker enables us to take the standard pack where otherwise we might not be able to. I think rebate here is solid. I think rebate maybe matters a lot more than ramen. Maybe we don't care about ramen. Let's start Arcana first. Could be Judgment here. All right, so do I want to make... I think Glass 9 is very reasonable. You make a Glass 9 and you upgrade it into a 10 later. I think also Glass 6 is reasonable. But I probably still want Judgment. So we can get something... Chips Joker is what I'm looking for. Try that. Burnt Joker. We can do pair levels plus Steven instead of 2 pair. We could do rebate instead of... Maybe I don't need this ramen. The ramen's gonna stress me out. I gotta get rid of it. I gotta drop it as soon as I can. Purple 8. I guess we're doing 8s. Lucky 8. Let's go purple 8. Okay. Yeah, we don't need this ramen. Do we? Don't we? Will she? Won't she? Let's go next. Rebate on 10s. So I want to discard a pair to the Burnt Joker. I have some kind of face down card. It's clubs. What kind of clubs we got? I don't know. Okay, so we could discard, maybe discard this pair. I don't want to play any pairs without the levels, so let's discard first. Rebate we can worry about later. There's some 10s we can play. Let's start with the pair of 2s. I could play 2 pair. Does 2 pair score more points? Maybe 2 pair is worth more chips, and that's the reason we should play 2 pair. Okay, so that's not that bad. That's not that hard. We can play, I think 3 of a kind 8s win. So what is this? This is hearts. That could be... that could be another 10. Could be. If I play the 8s, do the 8s just win? That's what the question is. What's this? This is not an 8. It's got to be a lower club. So I can play this pair of 8s, which doesn't win, and then we can discard the 10. Sure. That's a bummer. Alright, next pair wins. Doesn't matter. We can discard the 10s. We can play a pair of 6s here. That's it. Missed $5. Ah, rats. Alright, but we got a ton of money now. So it could be ramen again. As a foil is less bad, but it's a rental, so probably I'm not going to do that. We get about 1,000 points for a pair after discarding. Emperor, yes. We get temperance for 12 is fine. Okay. I do want the crystal ball. I don't have to take it yet. I do want it. Let's go standard pack first. I don't need this 5, I don't need this 9. I want the Arcana pack. I could reroll first. Rebate on 2s. Maybe reroll first. Alright, I don't think I need Venus. I don't think I need Pareidolia. I forgot what the boss is. Face down after played seems fine. Arcana, we can get 20 bucks here, or we can hang them. I think we are at a point where maybe removing cards is better. So maybe Jack and a Queen, we can just hang them. Maybe the Kings, we can just hang them. Remove a pair. Rebate on 2s. Yeah, I think I value the money, or I value the card removal here. That. And then go next. All right. I can discard a pair of Queen. Throwing away a 3. Saving my discards for the rebate. All right, how do we get the rebate money? We can play a pair of 4s. We can look for a lucky 10. Pair of 4s is 1,000. Okay, so we can win with 3 pairs. We can play maybe a 6. We have 8s, so this is probably fine. We can throw away at least one, and we can use a moon in an emergency situation. I probably discard these 2s, though, and throw away the queen. And then maybe we moon. Okay, I can play a pair of 8s. I could play 3 8s. And maybe the pair is better. I can play sort of in a panic situation. Maybe... Does the extra 8 help? Yeah, I think I do something like this. And then if we miss, we can make a flush. In an emergency, we can make a flush. Let's play the pair of 8s. Okay, this pair of 8s wins, and I think I'm going to do diamonds instead of clubs. I guess the first boss was spades. Maybe we're supposed to do spades. Anyway, here's a pair of 8s. 1,400 for the pair there. In the next round, we can win with 3 pairs. Maybe. So it could be Supernova. I think Supernova makes sense with pairs. I guess one hesitation is we have the Chad, which maybe makes Supernova not worth it long term. Also, we have 48 cards in deck, Purple Seal. We can probably get away with not doing pairs soon, actually. So let's try the Mega Standard Pack. I don't need any of these face cards. I can take a Celestial Pack. Or maybe the full house level matters more than the 2-pair level. Alright, I think I'm not interested in Uranus here. Let's go Earth. And then there's the star. Are we taking the star? Make diamond. Or are we trying to do spades? Yeah, maybe spades. Go next. Rebate on 8s. Okay. I don't need a ton of pairs, but I do need some pairs. I can discard the pair of 3s. Okay. I can play a full house, which is pretty good. I guess we get punished if the lucky card hits. We actually get punished. I'm okay with that. We didn't draw any 8s. This rebate not been the best to me. Rebate on 9s. We have 4 9s. All right. So crystal ball, yes. Celestial pack, sure. Could be Mercury here. I think is the safe thing to do, and then we can go Arcana pack, and then we got to think about this boss. Sure. Empress is great here. We can make some Molt 8s. That's pretty good. We get the chips from the pair levels, and then we make the Molt cards for the Chad. Sure. I like the idea of taking the extra discard here, especially going into this boss. So like Burnt Joker plus Rebate plus Purple Seal. Maybe I want the extra discard. This boss says face down after played. So maybe no Golden Joker here, which is a little bit spooky. Go next. Rebate on 9. So we want to get Burnt Joker action. I can play a pair of 8s first. Okay, that's a pretty good pair of 8s. I can discard what I know is a guaranteed pair. Discard the 2s. Discard this. Maybe. 2 pair. Bummer. Alright, so I have a 9 that I can play. I think I play the 4s, and then This shouldn't win. Great. Then I can discard the 9. What suit is this? It's be a 10, I guess. Alright, I want to discard the 8. Sure. Strength? Okay, so I could play a pair of 8s here. This is not an 8. This is a 9. If I go here, it's clubs. So I could do strength on 2 9s. How are we doing on 7s? We're down on 7s. Yeah, maybe it makes sense. Strengthen the 9s. Sure. And then I can play this pair, which wins. I don't know if I played this particular round that well. The face down cards are spooky, so I don't like having to deal with them. Rebate on 10s. That's good. We got extra 10s. So I think Empress here is reasonable. I think also maybe could be Northern Lion instead of rebate. Northern Lion also perishable. Boss says something about debuff stuff. Let's try a standard pack before we go spectral. I don't think I need this 10. I don't think I need this 6. There we go. So we can't do blue 8, but we could do blue 10, I think is reasonable. Sure. That's fine. So where are we at? We might be able to do the full house now. Maybe. If I want to level up full houses. I don't know if I do, but that's the thing that we could do. Rebate on 10s. So I could discard a pair of 8s, I could play a pair of 8s. I think we play a pair of 8s. And then this boss is going to debuff everything, and I think that's okay. Lucky card for the money. No money. Alright, 24. So I think with the Empress we're fine. I think I do discard the 2s though. Rebate on 10s. By discarding here now the 6s are stronger, so I can play the 6s. I can use the Chariot on the blue seal. Slightly punished for putting the blue seal on a lucky card, but that's a thing that we can do. I can play the pair of 6s. I could play 2 pair. I think I'm supposed to discard these 10s. I think I need both the 6s and the 4s. I think that's true. Okay. So let's try pair of 4s. And then we can follow up pair of 6s. Alright, so pair of 6s is 23. Rebate on 10s. We can get 8s. We can draw the 10s in an emergency. I can play the 6s now, which we know doesn't win. And then what kind of pairs do we have access to? So this should be fine. Play a pair of 6s. We have molt cards. We have the moon. We have the chariot. We got plenty of action. I can discard the kings and I can make molt queens, and molt queens gives me the pair level if that's what we want to do. And I think it is what we want to do. I can play the 8s. So why don't we say no to the moon. And then maybe also no Empress. We could do steel 10. Let's make a Zoolander and then ship it. This boss is going to be slightly awkward if this boss debuffs everything. Okay. So Mercury's okay. We can get rid of the rebate. It's a common that we can replace. Too late for the pants. Magician works well against this boss to remove the debuffs. It could be world now. Like I said, the first boss was spades. Maybe we try to do spades instead of clubs. Fool for a Mercury or a Death card? Yeah, so maybe 7s I can turn into 8s. Maybe we keep the 4s. I could use the world here. I could save the world for maybe better hits than this. Maybe all of my even cards I turn into spades. I think I'm all in on something. So I think world here is fine. I think Empress is maybe unnecessary. I can turn an ace into a lucky 8. Sure. And then we can reroll before opening the Arcana packs. So could be to-do list on 2 pair. Feels at least slightly irresponsible. It's not the most irresponsible thing we've ever done, but at least slightly. Let's go one more. Could be Seltzer to go with the lucky cards. Could be 4 of a kind pivot now, actually. Mercury, yes. Mars, yes. Let's go Arcana first in case there's a Fool for a Death card. Okay. So, here's the backup plan. Mars here. I think I take a Seltzer instead of a to-do list. To-do list we could probably do a little bit, but feels like it would be awkward. Maybe Seltzer seems fine. Alright. So we can start by discarding the 2s. Sure. I have 4 of a kind 8s. So usually we want to use death on the blue seals. Maybe you want to use death on the lucky, or sorry, the purple 8. Maybe blue seal is not super important yet. I like the idea of making more 8s. I like the idea of making lucky cards. I think 2 into 8 now. We can discard. Sure. Death card. So play the 10. Okay, the 8s win. I could play the 6s or the 4 of a kind win. Alright, I didn't get the blue seal. I'm kind of interested in... How much do we care about Seltzer? Maybe we don't care about Seltzer that much. We could do Molt on the 5s. We could do bonus 5s. How much is this? I think I do bonus 5s instead of Molt 5s. That's weaker. Weaker is better. I want to score less points. Nice. So ace becomes a 10. Sure. And then we get the blue seal value. Sure. So here's 4 of a kind with the 8s, and then we can keep the Empress for the boss. Yes. Cool. 2 Mars cards. So we should look for a Fool. No Arcana pack means the Fool is not going to happen, which means we use the Mars cards. We can start there. Vagabond, I just don't like doing it. I think it's powerful. I think it's fine. I just don't like doing it. It's a whole thing. I think Burnt Joker, maybe we don't need anymore now that we know we can do the 4 of a kind. Well, I don't know if we could do it like 100%. We'll see. I think Buffoon pack first and then Spectral pack. Could be Arrowhead now. How are we doing on spades? Actually Throwback here is not meaningless. So Spectral pack, I want to reroll for tarot cards first. Against the boss, do I want the extra hand size? Because I could take the Troubadour here, and then it makes the Spectral Pack slightly higher value if we get to see more cards. Just go one more. Priestess, maybe? To-do list on 2 pair. Could be another Mars card. Alright. Looks inside. I like Aura here. We can make a fancy 8. Since we have so many 8s. Sure. Ah. Foiled again. Okay. Let's go next. So I have 8. Which I can unlock with the Empress. To go with the Arrowhead, if that's something that we want to do. I'm not 100% on the purple seals, if we want to hold them or if we want to discard them. I think it's worth it to discard purple. Alright, we get Temperance for 11 bucks. That's probably worth it. I think we don't discard any more than that. Alright, so we have the Steel card in hand. The question is, if I unlock the 8s with the Empress, does this 4 of a kind win? Or are we going to be a little bit short? I think maybe with the Seltzer we're fine. So, go Empress here, play the 4 of a kind. Throwing away a 9. Alright, so we got re-triggers plus fades. Maybe I underestimated the 4 of a kind. Huh. Okay. 48 cards on the deck. So this boss says diamonds are debuffed. That includes my blue seals. That's rough, buddy. Could be a world card here. I think Chariot on 8s or 10s doesn't really matter which, but we should do one of those. Okay. Celestial Pack's fine. This stuff doesn't matter, but we could take Mercury, I guess. Mercury again, just in case. 6 more hands on the Seltzer. So basically we know the 4 of a kind is good. The question is, can we get the 4 of a kind? I could play a pair of 6s, which shouldn't win. Probably. 25,000, it shouldn't win. Yeah. Do we discard the 1/8? Can we get more 8s? I think I keep the 8. Let's see here. I got 5 8s in the deck. Alright, I'm happy with this because I could do 1, 2, 3 with the world. We could do 8 of Hearts into a Steel card. Alright, turn the Zoolanders into Spades and then play here's 4 of a kind, lucky card in front, and ship it. Okay. Sure. How about that? 300,000 with no glass cards, right? Chad, Seltzer, no glass. That's all it takes. Could be Idle. Are we still Steven? Maybe Steven doesn't super matter anymore. Idle is non-perishable. How many cards we got in the deck? We got 48 cards on the deck. I mean, I'm down. I'm down to clown. Maybe the Arrowhead doesn't super matter. Does Steven matter? Let's go Arcana first in case we get Judgment. Could be Judgment. Actually, we hang him instead. But it could have been Judgment. At this point, I don't think we're doing the face cards, so maybe we just remove the face cards. Queen and Jack, we can hang them. Go Arcana. There's another death card. So I think 2 blue seals is probably enough 10s, and maybe we want to pivot to more 8s, especially this purple 8 is good. Idol's currently on the 4. Let's do king into 8 here. And then maybe no arrowhead. Alright. So 2 more rounds Seltzer, I can play the pair of 10s. If we hit too many plus 20s, then this might win. Actually, it scores way less points without the arrowhead. That's good. That's intentional? Question mark. 3 hands on the Seltzer. I guess I want to have some hands for the next round, so maybe we stop there. I have enough 8s in the deck. I could probably discard 1. Slightly punished. I need to draw an 8 here. If we don't draw an 8, I can play a full house. It's fine. There's an 8. So I probably play this 4 of a kind, and I'm not going to use the Chariot yet in case the next shop has an Arcana pack. Play the 4 of a kind. Never lucky. 1 more round Seltzer. Also 1 more hand Seltzer. Also idle on 3 of clubs. There's an Arcana looking for a Fool. There's a Fool, we get rewarded. So it could be a death card, could be a hung man. I think we just actually hang him. So all of this was for nothing. I don't think I take Hermie here. So Mars here is fine. I might even use a Chariot on the 10. Or maybe we don't do that yet. I can... Yeah, this is fine. We can start making glass cards. I don't think that's necessary yet, but that's something that we could start doing. I think we just hang them here. We don't need the queen, and we can probably drop the 2 or the 7s you could turn into 8s. Maybe drop the 2 here. Spectral pack. We could light them up, I suppose. That's an option. Okay. 39 cards on the deck. 8 of them are 8. Sure. Pick up Honu here. That seems fine. Go 1 more. Temperance is okay. Let's go 1 more. There's could be Fibonacci for the 8s. I mean, that's an upgrade over Steven. I don't know if that's necessary to do, but I do think it's a fun thing to do. Maybe take Fibonacci here. Definitely that increases our score by a lot and then makes us pretty safe, to be honest. So maybe we do it just for the extra safety. Maybe I'm supposed to drop the Seltzer. Go next. Okay. Looking for my 4 of a kind. There's a 4 of a kind. Purple 8. I think, no, discard. Play this 4 of a kind. Using the Seltzer for the lucky cards. So like Fibonacci is like a ×2 here. Maybe with the Seltzer it's more like a ×3. Okay, so with the Seltzer and the Steel card we score 60,000 there, which means in the next round we might have trouble. We might score less. Idle on 5s. We can start with the Arcana pack looking for Hermie. Could be the Moon, or sorry, could be Empress. This boss says hearts are debuffed. So I think I'm gonna Stone the King because then it hides from the idol. Mega Buffoon pack. Could be an 8-ball. Okay. So now I can play a pair of twos. The pairs are okay. We can play a pair of twos. We just want to get closer to where the 4 of a kind wins. I can play a pair of threes, throwing away the 10. Sure. Not quite enough eights yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so I can discard at least 1 8. I can probably discard the steel 10. The world is good. Okay. Let's... Maybe I want to play 1 8. Can play an 8 here, and then we get to keep the other 8s. So... Lucky 8, or do we play a pair? This is fine. Okay. So discard the 5s. I guess I could do the pair with the idol here, and then the pair wins. I could do the full house. What do we... Do we need the steel card? That's a good question. Alright, 1, 2, 3 into spades. Lucky card in front. Let's go for extra luckies and ship it. Okay. I think that loses without the foil. Anyway, let's go next. Idol's on 8 of spades. That makes sense. So all of my 8s are spades. We have a magician I can use on non-8s if we want to try to get money from that. 2 standard packs are at this point probably not super important. This boss, hearts are debuffed, doesn't matter to me. I could make some gold cards. Maybe justice time if my 8s are not scoring enough. I think the 4 of a kind not scoring enough. I think the glass cards are where we head next. Let's go magician, go next. So I could do lucky 4s. I could do steel 7. Okay, there's some purple 8s. I think with the idol, the 8s win. I do want to make a glass 8. We could do foil glass. We can discard... Oh, I guess I don't have a red seal yet, so maybe I want standard packs for a red seal. So we can discard the 1 purple. Probably we don't discard another one. We have 39 cards in the deck. I could play high card 9 while we dig. Okay. At this point, I could discard only 3 8s in the deck. Okay. We can discard this 8. Sure. Devil? Alright, so I can play a pair of 3s without winning. Okay, and then we got some lucky 8s. So maybe we go gold 6, I guess. Maybe judgment doesn't matter. Play the 4 of a kind. Skip it. A little bit shy on the lucky cards. Idol on 4 of clubs. So 4 of clubs might be a pair situation against the boss. The lack of lucky cards is really hurting us. Alright, so temperance is 12. We got Hermie here. Do we still want the extra discard? I think the answer is yes. Hermie, yes. Probably boss reroll. And then I could not use lovers against the boss. Maybe priestess doesn't super matter. Probably I'm looking for my glass 8 here. We could try multiple. Let's go pair the 6s. We don't get Fibonacci here, so it's actually really weak. Maybe I hold out for the 5s instead. I can play a pair of 5s with Fibonacci. I think I need to throw away the 7. Bonus cards here good, seal card good. 4 of clubs. Okay. So I can play this pair with the 4 of clubs, expecting this not to win. Okay, and then now the 8s win with the steel card. Okay, so here's the lucky 8s. Chip it. Plus 20 there wins. Okay, if it doesn't, we end up playing a pair. Follow up. Okay. Idle on 4 of clubs. Again, the same 4 of clubs. You son of a biscuit. Could be rebate, could be discard, could be this boss is extra large. So I guess that means we're gonna do the glass. Maybe not immediately, but we are gonna do it eventually. Extra discard, yes. Standard pack, probably not useful. I guess a purple seal 8 is okay. Do we want... Could be mail and rebate on 3s. Could be mail and rebate instead of this 8-ball. Could be mail and rebate instead of the drunkard. I mean, mail and rebate is worth a lot, probably. Nah, that's too much work. Alright. Add on 4 of clubs. Jacks and 10s, we can discard them. I'm looking for Fibonacci cards so I could play a pair of 3s here. We did get the 4 of a kind level. I have the 5. Are we trying to play the 4? Maybe I'm not trying to play the 4. Seven 8s in the deck. I think I throw away this 7. Okay, do we need the glass 8 if we have I think with 2 steel cards this is fine. If we get the plus 20, it's fine. Okay. Idles on 2 of spades. Bummer. Emperor gives me a death card. So, standard pack first. There's a red seal 9. Can't do it, right? Be a gold seal 3. Okay. There's a fool for another death card. Maybe it makes sense to copy the blue seal. I think I'm just gonna use death here on the 6. And then we can fool for another death. So in that case, I could do gold 10, priestess, doesn't matter. Oops. Death here. Fool for glass card. And then that probably wins. Okay. So let's start with a pair of 3s. Okay. There's a pair of 8s, which actually might not win. And then we can discard for a different pair of 8s. I think this doesn't win. Maybe with 2 steel cards in hand it does. Maybe with we hit the plus 20 it does win. Yes. Okay. 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 So I could turn a 6 into an 8. I could discard first. The benefit of doing this 8, yeah, let's do death here, and then discard the 8. And then we've got 3 8s in the deck, we've got 12 cards, so this is fine. Actually, I think if I discard both 8s, we still get there. Fool for death card. Okay. So I guess now I can play a single 8 if we want. I could discard the gold card. I could discard this purple 8. If we discard 4, then we for sure draw the other 8. It's fine. Empress doesn't matter. I could use death now to copy the 10. I think we save death for the glass cards. Let's go ahead and ship it. Okay. Idle on 3 of spades. Thank you very much. Cool. 4 of a kind levels. Emperor, Hermes good. Standard pack is irrelevant. Arcana, so we can use this death card. There's an 8. Probably, let's see here, jacks, queens. So we can drop a queen, we can death a jack. In that case, I think I don't take a priestess here. In case we get a fool. Could be another death card. Okay. I guess strength works on the 1/7, the 1 steel 7 that I have. Could be oops is good with the 8-ball, but bad with the glass cards. Also kind of good with the lucky cards. I don't think that's a thing that we should do. Let's get rid of this discard. And then I could use the tower to block for the idol. Go next. Alright, I think my plan here with the 4 of a kind levels that we have, this is like 5 times 5 is 25. And then if we go 8 times, maybe that doesn't win, right? 4 gets me to 100. I need 2 glass cards, probably. That's the plan. I can stone the ace, that's for sure. I want to use the death card. I want to get my purple seal value. I can discard this 1/8. Okay, I can strengthen the 1/7. That's sweet. Alright, that's great. Hierophant, no. I'm saving death for the glass cards. I can discard these purples, keeping the steel card in hand. Maybe with the steel card in hand, I don't need as much glass. There's a chariot, so I would like to... Maybe this can be a steel card. Don't need the Empress. I can get rid of a 9, I guess. So now, lucky 8. I don't need the 6. Alright, ship it. 2 glass cards wins. Queen and 4, we can hang them. And then with 20 cards in the deck, I don't think I discard this purple. I think we keep it. Better safe than pregnant. I guess I could play this 8. Maybe that's correct. And then we could discard a different purple. Okay, I could discard this different purple or a hungman. So 6 and 4, we can hang them. I can play this 1/8 and try to draw different 8s. Okay, I can stone a 3 or a 5. I guess I stone the 5. And then this definitely works. I guess it's a little bit unfortunate all the glass cards are gonna break because of the oops. Alright, ship it. Cool. Idle on 8 of spades. So now idle on 8 of spades, we don't have to play glass anymore. If you're concerned about the glass cards, we don't have to. There's a strength card. Strength probably doesn't matter anymore. Celestial packs matter. This boss says forces a card to be selected. Gorkana. We could do a little re-rolling. 58 on the fortune teller. Bummer. There's a death card. There's also DNA. It could be DNA instead of the 8-ball. But the 8-ball is just more fun. Cool for another death card. Death here. Cool. And then I don't really need this world card. Could be a free reroll. Could be... I don't know. Go next. So I guess the ideal situation is we use death on the glass cards. I can discard purples to start. I can turn a 9 into an 8. All of the glass cards, we discard them. Because they are breakable. Okay, I can stone the jack. Could be lucky 8 here, maybe. Alright, so what's the move? We have 2 more purples in the deck. I can play... if I play the pair of 8s with the idol, I think that doesn't win. Hoping that doesn't win. Oops. Oh, now it definitely doesn't win? If you do it in that bad order, apparently it would have won. Alright. So, Priestess. Discard purple. How many purples do we want to discard? If I discard all of these, I have 1 8 left in the deck. So I guess I'll do it this way. Magician. I don't really need a steel 8, do I? Okay, do I want to play high card 8? If I do this, I get to draw 4 cards. And then I can get to the 8 eventually. I guess the question is, does the idol win here? And I think the answer is no. Close. Really close. Pair of 3s doesn't win. Draw 4. Ship it. Idol is 10 of spades. Alright. We can fix that. That's fixable. Standard pack. That's not how you do it. Blue seal 10, I think we don't have room for. Northern Lion, no. Hallucination is a guaranteed tarot card. Could be hallucination instead of this 8-ball. I think we get enough 8-ball value. So, I think tower makes sense to block for the idol. We can hang them. So, 2 we can make into a rock. I think 3s we can hang them. I could make a steel card. Maybe a steel 8. Go one more. There's an emperor. Strength we said doesn't matter. There's justice for my 8s. I guess. I guess I don't have to deal with this boss if I don't want to. So here's an 8. We can play this 8. We could play a pair of 8s. I guess I have enough 8s. I don't mind playing a pair of 8s. Okay. Discard the glass ones, discard the purple. Fool for justice. Alright, well, if we want to make a ton of glass 8s, that's an option. I probably do that instead of being greedy and waiting for death. So, could be glass here, could be glass here. Discard glass, maybe? So, lovers? No. I can play high card 8, and then we should have enough 8s left in the deck. 9 cards left in the deck. Play this 8. Okay. Let's see here. Discard the glass ones, draw into the lucky one. There's justice again, if that's something that we want to do. Alright, ship it. 32 cards, 14 of them are 8 of spades. It's about 50-50 on the idol. Crunchy. Beans. Alright. So, idol on Jack of Clubs. There's a Jack? Could be. Let's see. Temperance, yes. Hermie, yes. Could be a blue guy. Sad. Oh well. We can ball, it's fine. In here. So, could be Hermie. Actually, we could spin the wheel if we want, just for fun. Steel here if we want. Glass here if we want. Gold card. $82 on the fortune teller. There's another chariot. There's could be 15 bucks here. It could be a fool for Hermie, or I guess we just make the steel cards. $16 for a reroll. Let's go next. Forces a card to be selected. How about nah? There you go. So 1, 2. Where are we at with this? Yeah, the 4 of a kind is better than the flush 5. I can discard here. I can play high card Jack. I could play high card 8. I want to get through my hands, so let's play this high card. Maybe we play pairs of 8s. Right. Because I can play this pair. Copying the 8 ball. Maybe I don't care about this chariot that much. There's a world. We already have all 8s of spades. Now if I want, I could play these 8s. Or I can discard these 8s. Maybe I discard these 8s. Okay. Alright, I think it's one more 8 here. A couple 8s in the deck. High card. We lost the steel cards. That's okay. We get another death card. So 3 cards left in the deck. Alright. So I can do this 3. I can turn into a 10. I can discard this 8 and this 8. And then we got 2 more 8s left in the deck. I guess I could discard these 8s and look for a death card. Justice, okay. Go one more. Magician, bummer. 4 of a kind, I guess. Popping, would you look at that? Ship it. All right. Let's see here. The person who left this comment, they did say there was a trio or something like that. You know, maybe that was like the only X-Molt available, kind of late in the game. How were we able to pull this off? There were some moments where we definitely were taking more risk than we needed to, and then getting potentially luckier than you might. It was okay early on what it was Steven. It was, you have the choice between, you could take Arrowhead. We said Arrowhead is very strong long term, but maybe doesn't work against the first boss, debuffing your spades. Maybe that's a good thing, because then you don't have to worry about the spades boss in the future, and maybe that's a reason to take the Arrowhead. I prefer, instead of a Chips Joker early on, obviously the Molt Jokers are going to do more early on. Early on, the first Joker that you want to see is a Molt Joker, and then you want to be able to find some Chips Joker right away. If you don't take the first Chips Joker, you may not see another Chips Joker. It may never happen. But you can kind of get around that with planet levels. So planet levels also give you chips. You don't necessarily need a Chips Joker, but definitely helps to have a Chips Joker. In this case, we ended up getting, it was Chad as an Eternal Rental. And the question is, okay, is Chad worth it as a rental? And I think the answer is probably. It's not guaranteed to be worth it as a rental, but it's probably worth it. I think it's more so not whether or not it's worth it, but it's about whether or not I can afford it. So can I take the Chad? The thing that enables us to take the Chad is we have lucky cards, which can give us money. In this particular seed, didn't give us money right away, but did give us money eventually. That was a little bit unlucky, this seed. But we get we have money in the bank from the investment tag. Okay, we can use the interest to pay for the rental fee, so at least we're breaking even most of the time. And then we can also, with the Chad combined with Steven, we can win in relatively few hands if we want, or potentially we can play extra hands for value. So if I'm able to win in one hand, then I have leftover hands, and if I have leftover hands, then that's extra money. So I think definitely Steven, very powerful, very important early on. You can play, where's Steven? Steven's here. If you play 2 pair, 2 pair is going to get 60 molt, I think is pretty good. If you play just a pair, then 8 molt is good enough. Not great, but good enough. Sly Joker also +8. The molt that you get from Steven works a little bit better with, of course, Chad is a common Joker, so that's a common synergy that you can find. Also going to be good with glass cards. It's going to be good with steel cards. We had some early steel cards and got some use out of that. We got an early burnt Joker, and so instead of having a chips Joker, now we have burnt Joker giving us chips. Pair levels. We have Chad giving us not a lot of chips, but a little bit of chips. We have, now that you have Chad, now the enhanced cards matter more than not at all. You can make some molt cards, you can make some bonus cards that are going to be particularly powerful if you already have the molt from Steven. And then I think the main thing is, for this particular run, being able to pivot into the 4 of a kind. How do we know when we're able to pivot into the 4 of a kind? It's when you get the blue seal. Blue seal is a thumbs up, that's a green light. That now we can pivot into the 4 of a kind. The way, because one 4 of a kind level is worth 2 pair levels, 2 Mercury cards. It gives you twice as many chips, it gives you 3 times as much molt. So maybe it's worth even more than 2 Mercury cards. Maybe it's worth as much as 3 Mercury cards or something like that, or something in between. Anyway, even if you're just getting the 1 4 of a kind level every round, as long as it's every round, then that's pretty powerful. And then still recognizing, okay, we can still fall back on pairs as a backup. We have Steven, we have Fibonacci. But the main thing I was going to say is don't be undervaluing the ability to remove cards from your deck. So starting from, here's the theory, starting from 52 cards, let's say you have some value generator. Let's say you have one blue seal. Do I use Death to copy the blue seal, or do I use the Hangman to remove cards? If I remove cards, then I draw the blue seal more often. If I just make a second one, I also draw the blue seal more often, twice as often, compared to if I remove 2 cards, then maybe it's not the same. It's not nearly as effective. So you could think of that. You could think of it that way. If I remove cards from the deck, it's this very tiny increase, just a couple percentage points increase, more likely to draw my blue seal. But I'm also more likely to draw my lucky cards. I'm also more likely to draw my steel cards, more likely to draw my purple seals and gold cards, and every card becomes slightly more likely. So the more value I already have in the deck, then the more valuable it becomes to use the Hangman rather than using Death to make more copies of value generators, where you've got a bunch of value generators, but you also have a bunch of garbage in your deck. It's about removing garbage from your deck. But it's not just that. It's not just about, if I have 2 blue seals, I have a certain percentage of drawing a blue seal. If I have 1 blue seal and 3 purple seals, I have a certain percentage of drawing purple seals. It's not about that. It's not about what increasing the percentage by using the Hangman. What really matters, and the way that I think about it, is I can see all of my cards except for this many. I can see all of my cards except for 5. And now if I remove 2 cards from my deck, it's only 2 cards different, but now I can see all of my cards except for 3. I can see all of my cards except for 1. And that's really what we care about, is it ramps up very quickly from being able to get your value generators 50% of the time to being able to get your value generators 100% of the time. The thing to keep in mind is I have 2 discards, 5 cards at a time. I can play 3 hands, 5 cards at a time. My opening hand is 8 cards. So on average, you're seeing like 20 to 30 cards per round. If you get below 30 cards, then you get to touch all of them every round. And then you don't need that many value generators in your deck in total. So I value the Hangman very highly. Even if you don't have any value generators in your deck yet, remove the cards from your deck to make future value generators better. If you add a gold card to a 20 card deck, that's way more powerful than adding a gold card to a 50 card deck. That's the idea. Take care, everyone.